If you don't have a placard set up like that, then you can put it on your mud flap, but it has to be 3 inches at least above the TMC logo. And then if you were going to go on this side, you could put it on this bare silver portion right here, from what I was told. What's up, guys? The Erudite Trucker here, back with another video. And we're already at a shipper that we got to not too long ago. We're out here, you can see over there, we're supposed to be picking up some roofing material, but this order is a hazmat load, which means it's probably going to be some of that rolled roofing and some buckets of adhesive, which I've hauled before, but not from this place. But I'm pretty sure I know what I'm gonna do with it. It's about let's see, 12:15. I got here about 45 minutes ago, and I got unloaded pretty easily this morning, but my fleet manager is out of the office today, so I have a stand-in. And my stand-in called me and gave me 3 different options for loads today. One of them was this one, which pays 4 digits. I don't think I can tell you guys specifically what it pays, but we'll just say it's between $1,400 and $1,800, in a range of that. It goes from where I am to Illinois. And there's another load, or one of the other ones that he was giving me was going from Pennsylvania to somewhere in Virginia, I can't remember, which paid about half what this one pays, and then the other one paid like 600 something. So, you know, he told me the specs, so I'm thinking, you know, from where I was, I could get over here, pick this load up, and possibly next day this one, because if I got to the consignee for this load tomorrow before 1:30, they could unload me and I could still pick up another one, so I'd make even more money in theory. This shipper has problems today. I go in there, well, first off, when I got here, this place was like loaded up. As you can see, all the loading bays over there except for like 2 of them are filled up, and then this whole lot, you can only see that one truck right next to me, but all the empty parking spaces in this lot are filled up. I go in there, excuse me, and the person at the check-in window is, well, first off, the check-in area is filled up with other drivers. That's a bad sign. So I walk up to the window, and the person at the window tells me that their computer systems are down. That's very bad. So basically, they can load everybody here, but they can't produce your paperwork to get you out of here. And they said that they do not know how long it's going to take to get their systems back up and running. I definitely did not like that news. So, I mean, it could be an hour, it could be 4 hours, it could be who knows how long. But I'll be sitting here, and I definitely do not like that, because I have about a 11-hour and some change drive to go get rid of this stuff in Illinois. And it's making me wish that I had taken that 800 some odd dollar load that was going, you know, to Virginia. It would have been shorter. I mean, dollar for mile, that load was probably the best one to pick. You know, the amount that it paid compared to the amount of miles I had to drive to get rid of it. But, you know, with me thinking, you know, expecting everything to be smooth, you come over here, because I've been to this shipper before, expecting everything to be smooth, come here, load up like I normally had in the past, and, you know, be on my way, that plan could work. But now I'm not sure. I mean, I want to err on the side of saying, yeah, the next day plan might not work. I mean, this load's not supposed to deliver, or it doesn't have to deliver until Wednesday, which is a couple of days from now. Today's Monday. But like I said, if I had arrived soon enough tomorrow, I could get offloaded early and then pick up another load and, you know, basically be ahead on the money, because the load that I delivered today was really good. It was another 4-digit load that I got rid of to start my week off with. Needless to say, this little wrench in my time is not welcomed. They never are. I already reached out to my temporary fleet manager, let him know the situation and see what they want to do with that. I mean, at this point in time, because I had a 2-hour bounce to get here, roughly from where I was, and I had a 30-minute drive to go get rid of my load from this morning. So I only have 8.5 hours left on my clock. And to make things a little bit worse, if I do stay here and end up getting loaded, like I would possibly try to run a split log, but from where I am, I'm not getting loaded in this section that I showed you guys, this little area. I actually have to drive back out the way that I came and go basically to the other side of this big old building area. And I don't think I'm gonna be able to creep crawl at 4 miles an hour and do that without impeding, you know, all the other guys that are moving around here. So I'm probably gonna have to bust up a split log if I were to try to do one. And I would want to have that duty time on my side so that I could drive as far as I planned on driving, because I only have about 9.5 hours on my duty line right now, and 8.5 hours on my drive line. So it's probably gonna fall through if I end up staying here. We'll have to deliver this load on Wednesday. But hindsight's 2020. Or really, even the part with hindsight, you know, there's nothing I could have done, because there's no way I would have been able to know that this shipper is gonna have some internet issues or programming issues and have a whole bunch of guys held up. Only thing I can hope is that on that other side, if I do end up staying here and getting loaded, hope that there's not a whole bunch of guys that need to be loaded on the same side that I'm going to, and I can hurry up and get that part secured, because this rolled roofing is easy to secure. You just got to throw straps over it. I throw an X strap on mine, and when you have those adhesive barrels, you know, you just want to put your edge protectors on there. I use V-boards. The V-boards there that you guys have seen me using a whole bunch of, well, not a whole bunch, but a few of my videos. Just use those to keep those contained, and you strap them, and it's pretty easy. Sometimes with loads like that, the rolled roofing, you can X strap the back if it's the rolled roofing that stands up the way that toilet paper rolls stand up in the package. But these look like they're being laid down on their side, so you don't have to strap the back of that. At least I never have. So we're gonna be waiting here one way or another, either waiting until they cancel me on this load and dispatch me on something else, which I don't know. I don't think they're gonna end up doing that, since this load doesn't need to be delivered until Wednesday, because I haven't heard anything back from that temporary fleet manager. So Venture said they're gonna have me just waiting it out. Man, it sucks. It sucks. But I mean, that's part of trucking, guys. You know, hiccups happen, delays, you know, picking up shipments that have, you know, issues at the shipper or at the consignee, you getting held up for one reason or another. But I hope this place pays for detention. You know, not every shipper and consignee that I pick up from or deliver to has detainment pay, which is definitely something that needs to be changed in the industry. You know, drivers need to be getting paid for detention everywhere. That needs to be part of the regulations, because, you know, sitting here having our time wasted is not anything that I am in support of at all. We need to be compensated for the time that we put in. You know, if we're stuck somewhere for no fault of our own. We'll see how long I'm here. I'll give you guys an update once I get some traction one way or another. I'm supposed to be going home this week, at the end of the week, so I have time to get back on track and still make it home, even if I'm delivering all the way out in Illinois on Wednesday. You know, that's plenty of time for me to get routed back to North Carolina, so I'm not worried about that. Just trying to get my money. I don't want to stay here and have my stuff blown up. But we're not behind the 8 ball. We're not behind the 8 ball, because I was just planning on delivering this early. So even if I can't do that, you know, we'll still be able to deliver on schedule, I'm pretty sure. So overall, things are not terrible, just annoying at the moment. But we'll post up in a little bit and see what's going on. Okay, we've got an update. We're still waiting to get loaded. None of those guys over there have moved out of their spots, but the forklift operators are adding stuff to their trailers. So that means one of two things. It could either mean that the computers are back up and running again, so they're just resuming standard operation, or it could mean the computers are still down, but they're just going ahead and loading the guys that they know are going to pick up the freight since they're already here, just so things will progress. I'm hoping that it is the former and that everything is up and ready so I can get out of here the sooner the better. But actually one of the detention specialists at the company reached out to me, and that's always a good sign when the detention department reaches out to you first, because that means, in my experience, that the shipper or consignee that you're at, they do pay detention, and the detention department already knows that, so they're reaching out to you to see if you're loaded or not, because they get prompts in their system, I'm pretty sure, that lets them know when a truck has been sitting at a location past a certain amount of time, and they check in on you and see if you're loaded yet or if you're being detained. So like I said, she reached out to me, asked me if I've been loaded yet. I told her no, and she just confirmed that she's got me marked for detention at this place, so I just got to put in my macro for that. I believe it's a macro 26, and they must have it on, TMC must have it on contract with this shipper or something like that, because I don't have to get my BOL signed with my times on it for how long I've been sitting here. So it's probably very similar to like Certainteed. They have something similar like that, where you don't have to get your paperwork signed to verify how long you were sitting there waiting. So that's good in my book. So at least I'm getting compensated for having to sit here, which I definitely want that to be the case for every single place, for every single driver, because our time is valuable out here. You know, we're not out here to sit around and wait. We're out here to make money, to provide for ourselves, our families, and improve our situations in life with our finances. So we need to be getting that money when we're stuck somewhere because of the customer or a consignee or whatever they got going on at their facility. I checked, I'm about an hour and 7 minutes away from my split log being complete. I have not been called to be loaded yet, so I mean, if I get called to be loaded, I'm like very close. I mean, really at this point, I'm tempted to do it right now, but if I get called to be loaded and I'm very close to my split log being complete, I'm gonna have to crawl. I'm gonna have to crawl around this lot to get over there, because at that point, if I sped up, with it being, well, right now, like I said, it's an hour away, and by the time they call me to get loaded, it's probably gonna be way less than that, you know. But by the time they call me to get loaded, I drive around to the next dock, I sit there and wait for them to load me, because it's gonna be a live load. Wait for them to load me, and then the time that it takes for me to secure the load after they're done loading everything up, the time for my split log to start will have elapsed. So it logically and strategically, it makes sense for me to just not trip my clock and wait for that split log to go while I'm sitting here waiting. Otherwise, like, that'll be all that wasted time, and I won't be able to drive as far as I would, because I have a planned parking space. I went ahead and did my trip planning while I've been sitting here. I'm planning on going to a rest area. It'll be in Ohio, which funny enough, I was like right next to this rest area that I'm planning on going to over the weekend. It's the place that I parked on Friday, because I stayed out over the weekend, and it's like right next to where I stayed at over the weekend. So I know exactly where I am. There's a good amount of parking spaces there, plus there's like a couple, like 3 truck stops next to that rest area, which is a good thing, because when that's the case, when there are truck stops that are close to a rest area, there's usually some available parking between those things. Like I said, there's a Pilot over there, there's a Love's, and there's like a small Speedway that's got a few parking spaces, and most drivers are going to want to hit up the truck stops first. So that usually means that the rest areas will have some spots available. I think this rest area has about 35, maybe 40 parking spaces in it. So I'm confident that I'll have something available to me when I get around that way. I might end up stopping at the Pilot just so I can get a shower if it's available. I mean, that location is like 6.5 hours away, and like I said, I have 8.5 hours on my clock, as long as I don't trip my clock and mess anything up. and get it running. Right now it's still counting down. It will be for the next hour or so until that split log starts and I get my duty time back. Having more time gives you options, and that's what you want out here. You want to have as much available time on your clock as possible while you're still needing to work and drive or secure your freight or whatever. So you have time to plan more things. You know, if you get to a planned parking area and it's filled up, you still have some time left on your clock to drive a little bit farther. You know, you're not looking at your clock counting down basically in crunch time when you don't have any time to spare. That's good. One of the guys is just sitting here waiting. He actually just left and he's backing into a dock right now. So that means that somebody else just got done being loaded and they left. So I'm venturing to say that the computers are moving again because they couldn't print our paperwork out without that. And the last guy, like I said, left, unless they loaded him up and just told him to drive into a parking space and sit until they can print him off. But I didn't watch him leave, so we'll see. And I'll check in with you guys once I actually get to the dock where I'm getting loaded. That's when I'll be happy. We'll see if my split log has been complete by that time. Okay, we're still sitting here waiting for our turn to be loaded. Looks like the line has moved a bit. Now it's like pretty much every truck up there except for 2 is a TMC truck. I'm wondering when my turn's gonna come up. Hopefully it won't be too much longer. I still have to drive to the other side of the building, to the other loading lot. But on a positive note, I suppose, my split log time has gone by, so I got all that time back that I was sitting here wasting, and my clock has frozen since I've been sitting here for longer than 2 hours. So now I have options as far as when I actually leave out of here. You know, I'm not chasing my clock, so to speak, since I have all that duty time back, and my drive time went back up to what it was when I went into sleeper berth initially. So we got the 9.5 hours and 8.5 hours on our drive line, so 9.5 hours of total duty time for the day, which is more than enough to get me somewhere away from here, a fair distance. On the negative side, if I were to leave right now, like leave from this spot and drive away, I would not get to that planned spot in Ohio until 8:46 p.m. But as you may be thinking, that's still early in the evening. It's a good time to get a parking space, which it is. But I've still got to wait however much longer it's going to take for my turn to be loaded. And then on top of that, get loaded, then secure the load. I don't have to tarp this, but I still got to sit around for the time that's going to take me to throw my straps on it and get my paperwork, put the placards on. That doesn't take very long at all because I have my placards posted up on 2x4s. So that makes it very easy for them to just sit in the state pockets. With this hazmat load and any other, if you are a hazmat loader watching this video, if you're new to it, make sure that you grab some extra placards from the shipper, just in case the 4 placards that they give you, anything happens to them, if they tear or if, you know, it rains and if one of them comes off. Like with mine, I take some, let me grab it here. I take some clear Gorilla tape that's waterproof, and I just tape that along the border of my placards, and I probably need to get some more of this eventually here, relatively soon. There's a decent amount on there, more than enough that I'll need for today's load. And you want to put the tape around the borders of your placards, and the reason I use the clear tape is so that the numbers that are on the placard to identify it are not covered up, because I'm pretty sure DOT can ding you if your signage is not 100% legible. So you don't want to have anything covering up any of the numbers, so that's why I use the clear see-through tape. So do that, like I said, grab a few extra placards. I prefer to try to get 4 extra placards, so a total of 8. You know, some shippers will give you double and some of them will just give you a couple. But that way you can replace any of the placards if something happens to them along the way before you deliver them. And with the hazmat loads, of course, you know, you can't take the same route as you would with a non-hazmat load. meaning like you can't go through tunnels with hazmats. But this one, there's a different note on the loading screen that I had for this one. It said that hazmats can go through Pennsylvania tunnels. So I do not believe that there's any tunnels on the way to where I'm going, because I'm going to take I-76 west, go down 71 so I can avoid going on that I-80 turnpike through Ohio and Indiana, because it's not approved for this route since it's a 2-day drive, or I guess a day drive. I drive some today, drive tomorrow, and then it's due on Wednesday. So I'm going to do I-76 west to I-71 and then get on US 30. US 30 will take me all the way west from Ohio through Indiana, and that will allow me to avoid the I-80 turnpike. And it doesn't really take that much more time, because it's basically a straight line that runs like slightly south all the way along the I-80 turnpike. That'll take you west or east, just for anybody who knows, because I know when I first started driving with TMC, it took me a little bit to figure out the proper routes to help me avoid those turnpikes. I'm sure you can ask your fleet manager, you know, the right way to get around that. I didn't. I just found out just by driving the roads myself, because your first year with TMC, they allow you to go through all the turnpikes, the New Jersey Turnpike, exit 1 through 6, and all of the Ohio and Indiana I-80, I-90 turnpike without asking for authorization. After your first year, you have to ask for authorization, unless it's over a certain amount of miles for a next day drop kind of thing. Even with that, you still got to let them know so they can give you your turnpike authorization. But for this one, I don't have it. I didn't ask for it, but I'm pretty sure they wouldn't give it, because this one's, like I said, a 2-day drop, and it's less than 1,200 miles. I believe with TMC, if anything is a next day delivery, or basically if the load is more than 600 miles per day that you would have to drive. So since this one's a 2-day drop, it would need to be like 1,200 miles for me to deliver it on Wednesday. Then I could get the turnpike authorization, unless it's like a special case or something. You know, I've gotten turnpike authorization when the load didn't necessarily meet that mileage requirement. Yeah, if it like was a load that picked up like really late in the day, or it was a load that I was taking home for the weekend or something, like, you know, I don't know, it's like special conditions. That's going to be up to your fleet manager or your ops manager to say whether or not it's okay and give you the authorization for that. But always ask. Otherwise, you know, it could be a situation where they are going to come back to you with those charges, those tolls, and take that out of your check. And I know you as a driver do not want that. So we're not out here to give away money. Still sitting here waiting. It's really annoying. I'm stuck here. It's like 2:30 right now. As long as I drive, you know, several hours, so like 4 or 5 hours today, I can easily finish the rest of it tomorrow. I mean, because unfortunately this consignee for this load that I'm picking up, they do not have on-site parking, so I'm gonna have to stop short tomorrow anyway. And I actually need to trip plan my parking space for tomorrow. When I get there, I want to get a space that's as close to the consignee as possible. But yeah, I'll go ahead and do that while I'm waiting, and I'll update you guys when I actually get called so I can get loaded and get out of here. But this is trucking for you guys. Every day is not super fast and super smooth, and like I've said in past videos, I have more good days than annoying ones like today, but just the annoying days stick out because your brain is always going to keep track of the negative events that happen to you, because like your brain wants to avoid that same kind of thing happening to you again. That's why you remember it more so than all the hundreds and thousands of good days that you've had and good things that have happened to you. But when stuff like this goes on, I just make a mental note, and I'm like, okay, where did I fail, or what did I do incorrectly, or what did I not do the best today that possibly led me into the scenario that I do not like, so in the future I can sidestep it and avoid it from happening to me again. But I didn't mess up today. I mean, other than I guess picking this load instead of the one that paid less for a next day delivery, but that's neither here nor there. So we're gonna hang out here, hopefully not much longer, and we'll see when we get loaded, guys. All right, I'm still here waiting, but I went ahead and walked back into the shipping office just to see, and I was able to confirm that they got their computer systems at this shipper back up and running again. I was told that they have 2 people ahead of me, and my order actually got pushed back a little bit because they didn't have all of my product ready for me to pick up, which they should have had it ready. That part sucks. But along with that, I went ahead and asked them what time they closed, because it's about 3 o'clock right now. And my purpose for doing that was I wanted to make sure that I was going to be able to get my documents, my paperwork, my placards and everything before the people in the office leave, because I don't know, because like originally I had to drive around the building to go get loaded, and then I would have to drive back over here to where the shipping office is to get all my paperwork and my placards. And I wanted to make sure that I wasn't going to come back around here, because I know it's going to be late when I get loaded. Come back around here and the shipping office is closed and there's nobody to give me my paperwork. That situation happened to me once in the past. It was at a different shipper. I can't remember where I was, and the shipper was gone and they locked their office building before giving me my paperwork. And luckily I had a straight bill of lading, one of these blank forms. You can get these from TMC when you go to a terminal, and you use these, you fill these out if you ever have to write out a BOL on your own. If you get into a situation like I did where the shipper absent-mindedly leaves and doesn't give you the paperwork even though they loaded you. You know, people get in the rush to go home and sometimes forget about things that are their responsibilities. That's why you got to be prepared, so that way you don't get caught lacking. Make sure you got the documentation so you can take care of yourself. Nobody's going to take care of you better than you will. Make sure you learn that lesson. That way you'll always be good when you're doing everything that you need to do for yourself. You don't have to worry if somebody else screws up, at least for something like this. So I did that, and she confirmed that if they're gone, the loaders will have my paperwork and they'll be able to give it to me on the other side. I went ahead and got that confirmation, so I'm not out here wondering where my stuff is. Got that, and I was actually able to get my placards from them right now. Not my BOL yet, but I went ahead and I believe she gave me, I asked her for some extra placards, and she gave me 6. So I've got 2 spare placards. Always get spare placards whenever you're picking up a hazmat load, always. And like I said, I try to get 8, but she asked me if I wanted some extra ones. I said yes, as many as I'll get, as many as you will give me. So she gave me 2 extra. Hopefully I won't need to use the 2 extra because I have that tape. So we'll just be sitting here waiting some more. Hurry up and wait and wait some more. So I am certain that I'm not gonna end up driving for 6 hours this evening. Like I said, I still have to get loaded. And if I were to leave right now, I'd get to my parking space, my planned spot in Ohio at 9:30. I would almost venture to say, just guessing how much time this might take, I probably would not get there till like close to midnight after I get loaded and everything today. So I'm gonna have to pick a spot closer, more of a close drive than the 6.5 hours that I was originally planning to do earlier today, which I'll be able to figure it out. I'll get on Trucker Path, and my GPS that I use also tells me the truck stops and rest areas that are along the route that I've chosen. I'll do that. It won't be any problem. It's not my first rodeo. I've had to do this kind of thing many times before. So we'll go ahead and plan that out. Tentatively plan it out, because I don't know how long I'm going to be here. The longer that I'm here, the later it will make my drive. So I'm just going to look for clusters. I won't know for certain until they actually load me how far I'm going to be driving tonight. I'll need to drive far enough, like I said earlier, so that I'll be able to easily get to my parking spot that I have planned for tomorrow. So we'll get it done. We'll get it done. Just gotta sit here and wait indefinitely, seems like. All right, guys, it's 4:30 roughly. They started loading the truck at 4 p.m. and I know I'm looking kind of bright right now, but it's starting to drizzle a little bit, and I don't want my clothes to get wet. So let's go take a look at this freight real quick. I mean, I got a really easy one today. I mean, this one, the load only weighs like 24,000 pounds, and it's gonna be super easy to secure. I'll give you guys a quick look at it. They're just about done loading. Here is that rolled roofing. I mean, it's not even a huge pickup. I mean, look at that. It's gonna be very easy. I don't think I can do forward movement protection on this though, the way that it's set up. I mean, I could try to get a 2-inch strap across that. I mean, I probably will, just for that one piece, just to get something on it. But I mean, there's not really much I can do. I can't build a bulkhead because all this is blocked. But I'll try to get a 2-inch strap across. But yeah, it's just these all the way down. Super light. Here's the adhesive, the Hazmat right there. You can see the Hazmat label. And I gotta put my placards up. Haven't done that yet. Gotta wait until they're done. And that's it. So they're probably gonna put like one more on that back end. I don't know if they're gonna stack anything on top of it. Probably not, judging on the rest of the load, how it looks. But yeah, man, this is gonna be super easy. So just gonna throw straps over it. I'm gonna put one of my V-boards on this side and then on the other pallet over there that you can see. I'll throw 2 straps on these bundles back here, and we're gonna be ready to hit the road. Now just imagine if I hadn't got held up today, how quickly I would have been out of here with a load that's this easy to secure. Man, I can't do anything about that, so I'm not gonna be annoyed. I'm more so gonna laugh at it, because I'm like, of course, I get held up on a load that was gonna be super fast for me to deal with. But today's raining. Today it's raining now, so gotta make sure I take care of these placards. Definitely gonna need to use that waterproof tape, because torn placards are the #1 DOT violation for hazmat loads. So I'm gonna take extra care to wrap these in a way where they're not gonna tear and fray and come off, or even, like I said, tear. So these have to be in pristine condition if I get inspected, which I did not check yet to see how many weigh stations are gonna be along my way. I know going through that US 30 through Ohio and Indiana, there's like next to no DOT scales going through that way, because you're going on a state route and not the highway. So I mean, even if there were, I'm not worried about it. The truck's not in bad condition, so I just got to make sure that these hazmat placards are placed properly and nothing's damaged on the placards. And even if I do get inspected, if I pass, like, I think TMC pays like $100 for a successfully passed inspection on a hazmat load. So I don't know, maybe it would be a good idea to get inspected. And I do believe that's $100 per inspection. So if I got inspected more than once while en route to deliver this load, that would be $100 each time. And I like that. But I'm not gonna go out of my way to make that happen. You know, if I get pulled into a scale and I get inspected, I mean, that's cool, but I'm not gonna actively seek to make it happen just because I wanna go ahead and get this load delivered and done. But I'll take $100, 200, 300 bucks. It's offered to me. But I'm gonna go ahead and get this load secured once they're done, and we're gonna get ourselves out of here because we've got 12 hours to go. And more so for tonight, my priority is getting a parking space somewhere. I still have not looked to see where I'm gonna park at, because I was waiting until I actually started getting loaded so I could gauge my time and see, because I know how long it's gonna take me to secure that load, like 20 minutes, if that. I'll probably spend more time dealing with the hazmat placards, making sure those are perfect, than I will strapping everything down. That's gonna be beyond easy to take care of that stuff back there. But I'll touch up when I have the finished product, and I'll show you guys how it looks. All right, guys, we're finally all done, and we spent all day at this place, all day. I got here at 11:40 a.m. It's 6:35 p.m. right now, and we're finally finished. I'll show you guys the completed load in just a second. I pulled around back. I had to drive around back to where I first started to get my BOL, and I got some placards earlier, but I guess the person who gave me the placards left, and somebody else set out my paperwork, and they gave me like a whole stack more of placards. I mean, this is like a ton. They gave me extra and then some, so I'm just gonna hold on to these. Hopefully I don't need to use any of them. But got that. You know, you can never have too many, you know, at least until your load is delivered. Then you got too many, but you don't need them anymore. But I got my BOL here, and I already explained this in my first hazmat video, but I'll just do that in this one. I'll go over it a little bit quicker. I have my BOL here, and with your BOL, you know, you need to have your emergency response guide as well. I know this one is like from 2016, but they're the ones that the company has in the truck, so the information in it is still valid. So you want to make sure that your BOL, since it's a hazmat load, your BOL needs to be easily accessible to the driver and anybody who may be coming to the truck in the event of an emergency, a spill, and they need to have the information so they know what they're dealing with and how to properly contain the hazardous spill. So I always keep my hazmat placards right here in the door jamb where you see that black permit book. I keep it right there every single time, and I always have my emergency response guide. I put the BOL in the first page of the guidebook where the emergency response excuse that, where the emergency response information is. So doing a little bit of crazy camera work here, guys, trying to multitask with my hands, but I'll show you right there. See, it's the unit number, it's adhesives right there. They have the unit number, and then they have the name of what you got. It's adhesives. So you go to your emergency response guide and you go to the blue section right here, and they're in alphabetical order, the types of materials you can haul. And I went right here to where, if it'll focus, it says adhesives right there. I know it's a little bit blurry, but it says adhesives. And then it tells you what section of the book you need to go to in the orange section to find out the information for dealing with a spill of this type. And that says 128, that number right there. So flip around here to the orange section, go to 128, and as you can see, flammable liquids that are well, highly flammable. So this is the section, and I always put my BOL right in this first page, and then I'll close the book around it, and I'll leave it sitting right there in the door jamb. And like I said, you can go to my first hazmat video if you want to see the specifics. I'm just kind of going through this a little bit faster because I already have this information out there. But hold on here, let me set this. Crazy camera work. But make sure that your BOL is folded with the lettering and the numbers facing outside. Always make sure that the BOL is the top page. Don't have anything over top of it, because DOT can write you up for that. And excuse how the camera was flailing all over the place, guys. I'm trying to manipulate the book with one hand and hold the camera steady with the other one and look at some other stuff, but I always put it in that page and I leave it right there. And then that goes right here in my door jamb, and that is where it stays. And make sure when you get in and out of your truck, you know, if you're doing your load checks, that doesn't blow away. And let's see, anything else that I need to show you guys? They gave me the emergency response number information. I need to put that with the BOL as well. But the shipper gave me this, the emergency numbers that I need to call if anything goes sideways on this load. So we'll do that, and let me show you guys how everything looks, the finished product. And I'm gonna get out of here because I'm gonna try to drive like 3.5 or maybe 4 hours. It really just depends on what the availability is for parking when I get down the road. But let's show this real quick. Now, if you guys don't know, if you don't have hazmat placards like the 2x4s that I'm about to show you, you can put your hazmat placards in different spots. From what I was instructed, you can put one on the front of the truck here. I've seen guys put them on their grill, the hazmat placards. And I have mine on the front of the trailer there. One's right there. Some of the trailers have state pockets up here. This one didn't have that. And here we go. Here's the load. Super secure. And here's one of the hazmat placards. See, I use my clear Gorilla Tape on that. Make sure you don't cover up any of these letters or the numbers, especially any of that. And then I just use some bungees to hold it steady. I mean, in this stake pocket, it's not going to come out, it's not going to move, but I just like to over secure things. Like I've said in previous videos, super easy load to secure, very quick. So you got to have placard on the back as well. All 4 sides. Like I said, all this information is in my first hazmat video, but I like to be consistent. So I double talk about stuff. There's another one. It's the 4th one. So we're all set. I have everything strapped down. And oh, I forgot. I was telling you guys the alternate places where you can put your placards. So in the front, if you didn't put it on the front of the trailer, you can put it on the front of the tractor itself. On the grill, from what I was told. If you need to put something on the side, you don't have 2x4 set up like I do, I was informed that you can put it on the side box for the side. And on the rear, if you don't have a placard set up like that, then you can put it on your mud flap, but it has to be 3 inches at least above the TMC logo. And then if you were going to go on this side, you can put it on this bare silver portion right here, from what I was told. But I like to use the placards. And on these back ones, I have some flex tape, because my Gorilla Tape ran out, so I got to go to the store and get some more flex tape and some more Gorilla Tape for the next time that I got a hazmat load. But super easy to secure, and I don't think there are any tunnels. And I did confirm with safety, the safety department, that I can go through tunnels in Pennsylvania with this load specifically. Pennsylvania and West Virginia, I believe, but that's just with this load right here, since it's not an explosive or anything. But I don't have to worry about going through any tunnels worth the way that I'm going. We're gonna get ourselves on the road and get to Illinois, get this stuff delivered on Wednesday. It's a long day, but on the bright side, I get detainment pay for this whole time that I've been stuck here, which cushions the blow a little bit. Like I said, I'm not super behind. The load's not gonna cause me to miss out on anything. It just kind of moved my plan sideways, because I was gonna attempt to next day this load and get ahead, really far ahead. But it's just gonna be a regular delivery, and that's okay, because I'm not missing out on anything technically. So we'll go ahead, get on the road here, and I'm gonna go ahead and cut this video here, guys, because it's been a very, very long day, and this video's gone on for a while. But like I always say, I like to show you guys the reality of trucking, so I don't want to just show you guys only videos where things going splendidly and I'm just moving expeditiously through my day. Everything's getting done super quickly and with no problems, because this is reality. This kind of stuff happens from time to time, and you just gotta deal with it and overcome and move on to the next load. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut the video here, guys. I've got some driving to do this evening. I'll see you all farther down the road with no issues, hopefully. Here at iTrucker Out. I appreciate you all.